Yes, if can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Sweet. So are we live or what's happening?
All right, yeah, we're live.
All right, cool. Hello everyone. Welcome to this webinar. Um, with me, I actually have Asif today, and we're both from Zaio. My name is Akhil Boddu. I think before we just get started, let's just do a quick round of intros, right? And give you guys context as to what this session is actually going to be about. So my name is Akhil Boddu. I'm COO at Zaio. You've probably seen me in, like, if you've been in the Zaio ecosystem before, you've probably seen me in a couple of videos. So I'm actually an instructor at Zaio, and and I also contribute to tech at Zaio. And I'm going to hand over to Asif to allow him to give us an intro of himself.
Hey guys, my name is Asif. I am the CTO at Zaio. So basically, I'm the Chief Technical Officer. So I basically build the tech you're going to use in the bootcamp. And also, I'm in charge of the curriculum design, what you learn at Zaio, basically the step-by-step process of becoming a developer that is industry ready, designed by me and my team.
Awesome, sweet. And also, like, if ever you guys spot any bugs or anything, he's your man. Like, he's the guy you want to reach. And you can always reach us on Discord if you ever have any, if you ever come up with, if you ever spot any bugs or anything like that. So yeah, guys, look, the purpose of the session today is to pretty much give you a brief and like address a lot of the frequently asked questions that we have, specifically with regards to the full stack web development bootcamp that we have. We already have one that's running right now, and we're about to run one in March. So I think March 18th is the start date, and we wanted to just use this session to just let everyone know, like, or like create a space to address a lot of the frequently asked questions that we get, right? Um, so look, before we even jump into the FAQs, maybe just a little context, right, of Zaio, right? Zayo is essentially a coding school, right? And our vision is to actually create the next generation talent that will be able to drive the future of African innovation, right? And what I mean by this is, at the end of the day, we want Africa to be the place where it becomes the go-to place to find good, talented developers. And there's a huge gap right now, right? Our mission is to produce 100,000 developers by 2030, right? Asif, would you like to add anything to this, specifically around how there's a big gap in Africa, specifically around talent?
Yeah, so this is a very surprising number that in the whole of Africa, right, we only have 700,000 developers, which is crazy, right? Our mission is to add
Yeah.
another 100,000 in that pool. And what's more crazy is that out of the 700,000, we only have 100,000 that are in South Africa. So in a country of millions, we only have 100,000 developers, and there's so many tech jobs that are there for a lot of developers. So it's a very good space to enter into if you want to shift your career, if it's a new career, because the salaries are crazy. The learnings you get from the entire ecosystems are like really fun. It's a good experience, and there's a lot of demand for developers at this stage, and I think the next 30 to 40 years as well.
Absolutely, and I'd like to just add, like, just the comfort of being a developer. I feel like it's actually one of the funnest professions that you can be part of. Like, the work you create, the code that you write could actually create such a big impact. And there's also elements of hybrid working these days where you can actually work remotely and you can also go on site. So you have like a good blend of working from home as well as going to the office and working with other employees. So just as a career path, I feel like it's a really attractive career path. Not to mention the salaries. The salaries are incredible. Um, yeah, like, we're talking at least, like, 50K like within the first 2 years, and 80K within the first 3 years. So it's incredible opportunities in this space, right? Um, so I think let's just Asif, is there anything else you'd want to, like, talk about around, like, the vision and mission that we have at Zayo, or should we proceed?
No, I think we've
on to the
covered
next
everything.
one.
Let's proceed to the boot camp, and let's talk about the boot camp and give people an idea of what the
Yeah.
boot camp is. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. So guys, look, the we've been doing coding courses, like we've been providing coding courses for about four years right now, and after years of learning, years of engaging with companies, and lots of experiments on our content, we've actually curated a boot camp, right? And this is a boot camp. This is the second boot camp that we're going to be running, and this boot camp is essentially going to be over 6 months, right? Perhaps let me actually share my screen. Like, let's actually go through the Zaio page and actually see what this bootcamp entails. So, like, while I'm talking, you actually can see what I'm talking about. All right, sweet. Is my screen visible? All
Yeah,
right,
I can
cool.
see you. Yeah.
All right, cool. So look, basically, let's talk about the boot camp, right? So the, I mean, the goal of the boot camp, firstly, is to make you job ready. Like, we will give you a guaranteed job, once you actually go through this entire boot camp. And it's the difference between this boot camp and other boot camps specifically is around the end goal. I think that's what I want to emphasize over here, right? You're not just learning for the sake of learning, but you're learning with the intent of actually getting a job. And very early on in your learning journey, like, you will be able to see, um, you know, you'll be able to see how you will unlock your potential and how you will actually be able to land a job, right? So it's essentially a 6 months program, right? You will receive NKF level 5 credits. It is beginner friendly, so all you need to actually enroll in this boot camp is a computer and a solid internet connection. The learning style is pretty adaptive, right? So we actually put you in a closed group of learners. So you'll actually have a Discord community where you'll have other students as part of the community. You'll have two assistants, teaching assistants, that you will be able to have one-on-one sessions with. And if you ever have any question, whether it's even like a midnight grind that you're doing, if you ever have any questions, you'll actually be able to ask these questions on Discord, and either your peers or one of our instructors will be able to assist you. We also have live classes. So in addition to the whole online learning approach that you will have access to live classes 2 times a week in the starting of the program, and as you go deeper into the program, it's much more adaptive, right? So the start date for this upcoming bootcamp is the 18th of March 2024. So please ensure to check it out, and definitely give us apply for it, right? Um, so the curriculum. Let's talk about the curriculum. So Asif, I'm gonna since you're here, I'm gonna hand over to you to just walk us through, what is the curriculum that the learners should be expecting for this bootcamp.
All right, cool. So this curriculum has been carefully designed, right? Taking into factors like what is going to make you very job ready, and the most shortest period of time. So we start off with basic things with like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Now you might not know what the jargon is right now, but I'll just tell you in brief what they are. So HTML, CSS, and JavaScript are like the fundamentals of the web, and that is something that you have to learn as a beginner before you get into any hectic things, right? And obviously, just by doing HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you will not be job ready. What will make you job ready is the second part of the bootcamp, right? And that is which is React.js and Node.js. React.js basically is a front-end library. The entire Zaio platform that we have built, even the landing page Akhil is going through right now, is built on React.js. So that's what we will learn for front-end, and then we'll learn Node.js for back-end, right? And then Node.js, that will basically teach you how to build the functionality and interact with your database. Now, moving on to the last 2 months, right? We want to focus more on preparing you for interviews. So when you go for technical interviews, they usually ask you questions on data structures, right, and object-oriented programming. These are two important factors that we have included in the bootcamp, and it's currently not available in our self-paced course, right? So if you are doing a self-paced course, you might have noticed that these two sections are not there yet. We're planning to bring it up, but not anytime soon. That's a special thing about the bootcamp, where we give this extra content that will help you excel in those interviews. And then yeah, so you cover data structures and object-oriented programming, and that is basically for you use Python programming language for that, so you get some exposure to Python as well, and then you learn a SQL for your databases after Python as well. So yeah, I guess that's what we cover in the curriculum. We also cover soft skills, which means every second Friday, actually, we have one-on-one interview session. So you'll have a tutor who will do an interview session with you, and that tutor will basically try and make you comfortable in the interview scenario, asking you questions about yourself and how you present yourself, how you answer interview questions, and we also ask you technical questions of what you've covered in class, right? So that will give you an idea of how technical interview goes through. And I guess that's just a brief on the curriculum that we cover on the Zaio platform.
Sweet. No, thank you so much, Asif. I think I just want to touch on one of my the probably the most favorite thing for me in this boot camp is definitely that element of soft skills. So from a lot of interviews that we've done with companies and our recruitment partners, we learned that soft skills are incredibly important in giving you an edge so that you can get a job. So that is like from week one, like every 2 weeks, you have these sessions with experienced candidates, experienced people who have industry experience, and you get to grow your soft skills. So I think that's one of my favorite things about Zayo boot camps. So thank you for that, Asif. So yeah, I think just touching up on a little bit of these cool points that we have here, like in terms of features. All the weekly live sessions will be recorded because we know that life happens, and we've also created it in such a way where we can try and accommodate people who are both full time and also people who are part time, right? So essentially, what I mean by that is we'll have morning slots and then we can also have evening slots for the live classes, right? So like Asif said, the interview prep course is definitely probably one of the biggest edges that's going to help you land a job. It's what's going to help you stand out compared to other candidates. And of course, the guaranteed first job. So this is probably the point that attracts you the most. If you follow the path that we've laid out for you, and if you are able to meet the deadlines, if you're able to execute and build those real world applications, by the end of it, you will get an interview for sure. And we will do our best to make sure that we're pushing you in that direction so that you have a guaranteed chance at an interview, right? Um, and of course, you get full access to the community, and the Discord community is basically where you'll be able to interact with other learners, right? So learners that have previously worked with us on our courses and previous programs that we've run before are now working at Amazon, Accenture, BCX, Momentum, Yoko, and I feel like it's a huge achievement, right? And I think I think the purpose of this, like one of the purposes for this webinar, is to show you that it is possible, right? A lot of people are skeptical. It's like, is it actually possible to get a job in industry? You have to work hard and you have to try and follow the path we've laid out for you, but it is very much possible. Um, I think let's talk about tuition over here. So Asif, would you like to walk us through what exactly the costs are for running, like for participating in the bootcamp?
Yeah, sure, I'll do that. Okay, so our bootcamp costs 25,500 rands, right? It's yeah, and then we have multiple payment plans. So the 25,500 is basically the upfront fee, so you can pay the entire amount up front, right? Ideally, that's the basic scenario, right? You want to get done with all the payments up front, and now all you're doing is just paying attention and to your classes and not worrying about the payments of the bootcamp, right? Then if you're going to struggle, if you have any issues paying with the bootcamp, and struggle, like you're going to struggle with finances, and you feel that you need to get a loan or something, we have student financing available with a partner called Monati, and we're getting another funder in soon called Smart Funder, and these are different partners that we have that will then allow you to access extra funding to fund your studies, right? So we also have another payment plan called a 2-month payment plan, and the 2-month payment plan allows you to break the payments into two sections. The first payment will be made in the first month, and the second payment will be made in the second payment. So the payments are broken down 13,000, 13,000, And if you're paying upfront, it's 25,500. You save $500 when you pay upfront, right? So yeah, these are the payment options that we have. If you're doing financing with someone like Monati, obviously you'll have to have a good credit score or a good background where you're paying out, you're not in debt and things like that, right? Obviously, they're going to check all these things. They want to see that are you somebody who's actually making your payments on time, then you will easily get that financing from Monati. I guess these are the only things. Or if you want an idea of how, what are the amounts you'll be paying with Manati, so it can range from approximately 1,000 Rand a month to 1,500 a month to 2,000 Rand a month, depending on what contract you have with them, and also depending on your credit score.
Um, Thank you so much, Asif, about that. So yeah, let's talk about the application process now, right? We tried our best to simplify this application process. It's only 3 steps. The first thing is you have to do the general application, which you will find directly on our website. And the second thing is you're going to have to reserve your spot. So you have to pay an admission fee to reserve your spot, and you'll receive a conditional offer, right? And once you pay the admission fee and you go ahead, you'll see that we will analyze your profile based on whatever you put in your general application, and you will have the opportunity to convert your conditional offer into a firm offer by enrolling in the course and paying the tuition fee. So that's where actually, like, financing comes around, and financing has helped an incredible lot of students. So if you feel like, man, like 25K is a bit steep for you, financing is definitely a good solution that's going to help you, and it's helped a lot of students. So I feel like there's the barrier is pretty low. We're trying our best to minimize the barrier to entry. So you should be able to join this program through financing, right? So that's pretty much like what's going to be unpacked in this boot camp. And I think I just want to, like, hand it over to Asif to just walk us through, like, the pedagogy, right? I know pedagogy is a hectic word. I remember I feel like it's a complicated word for nothing. So Asif, maybe you can walk us through, like, Zaio's pedagogy, and why would a candidate choose Zaio over any other boot camp?
All right, cool. So at Zayo, our main mission, right, whatever we have built is mainly to make sure you get the first job as soon as possible, right? So within that 6 months, you want to make your job ready. And then we've spoken to a lot of not lecturers at universities, but we spoke to the people who actually employ you. So basically recruiters, right? And then we look at the skills that you need to get that job in the industry. And from there onwards, what we do is we then break it down and then curate the courses based on that. And all the courses that you do at Zai, you will notice they're all project based. From the time you take your first class in the boot camp, all the way to your last session in the boot camp, you are building a portfolio that you're going to showcase to your recruiters and HR managers when you apply for jobs, right? You're going to work out with a portfolio of projects that you're then going to share whenever you're applying for jobs, and that's basically one of the most important things that we focus on. And we have our one of our biggest USPs, our technology, right? And our technology basically is geared to help you and allow you and made it gives you an opportunity to work at any time you want to study. So for example, if you want to study at the night time, we have automatic markers in place for like front end for HTML, CSS, JavaScript. We have auto markers in place for all your programming challenges. We have an AI tutor in case you're stuck in the middle of the night. And one thing that we have is also one-on-one tutor support, which means that in the boot camp, which is not in self-paced, is we give you an opportunity to interact with tutors who are industry experts as well, right? They've been worked for, like, dev houses like Specno and yeah, it's Specno, and there was one more that I forgot. Okay, do you remember the name? The other dev
Leora?
house.
You mean Leora?
No, there's not. There's Specno and
Softech,
so
Softech.
yeah, yeah. So we have developers who work in companies like that, and they're actually working as tutors for us now to give you get experience and give you that mentorship that they have from the experience in being in companies. So I guess that's I think I've covered everything in the pedagogy. Am I missing something?
No, I feel like you've pretty much covered everything, but yeah, I just want to emphasize how cool the experience is actually. You like from the get-go, you're building real applications. You're building YouTube, you're building Netflix, you're building Amazon. As you're building these real applications, the amount of confidence you get, it's something that's worth experiencing, and you'll be surprised at what you can do. And as like Asif mentioned, like there's a huge gap in Africa. We want to be able to create the next 100,000 developers, and it all starts with this. It starts with building these real applications, and you have to get excited about it, and that's how you'll succeed in this industry, right? Um, cool. So I think let's talk a little bit about the entry requirements, right, for the boot camp. Um, Anything that we might have missed? I think something that has come up before is the location. Like, does address matter? Where you're based, does that matter for joining the boot camp?
Yeah, no, I mean, to join the boot camp, our boot camps are all online, right? So wherever you are from doesn't matter, as long as you know that where you are, you can get a strong internet connection, right? Because all you need for this boot camp is an internet connection, and you need a laptop. So, and yeah, and the laptop obviously has to be a minimum of i3 with 4 GB of RAM. A best case scenario, try get an i5 with 8 GB of RAM. That will go a long way if you're planning to start a career in development. So yeah, apart from laptop and internet connection, there's no other requirements. If you want the if you want the NQF5 certification, you will have to have a matric or matric equivalent. Now, if you don't have that and you still want to participate in the bootcamp, you can still do it, right? But you won't get the NQF5 credits because you're not a matriculate, right? So that is one question that has come up quite a few times as well. So I want to cover that up. But otherwise, yeah, it's very minimal requirements: internet, laptop, and a matric certificate if you want the NQF5 certification.
All right, perfect. Yeah, I think let's move on to the Q&A session now, because I feel like we've pretty much laid out and addressed a lot of the FAQs already through our explanation. So let's open the floor right now for seeing, like, what kind of questions are there in the comments, right? So I'm just gonna read through some of the comments over here.
Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show the question on the screen. Can you see it?
Yes, I can see it. So how many
Okay.
participants per boot camp do you take? Asif, do you want to take it?
Yeah, so on a previous boot camp, we took 30 participants, right? In this one, we are taking 50 because the demand has been very high, and we're trying to accommodate as many people as we can. And the more people we train, the closer we get to our goal of training 100,000 developers in Africa. So this time we're going to do 50. If you can't make it into the boot camp, you can always take the self-paced course or wait for our next opening of the boot camp.
Sweet. I just want to give a shout out to Abby, who's our admissions officer. Like, I'm sure you guys might have come across Abby. So Abby is actually in the chat as well over here. So I'm just going to ask the next question. I'm going to show the next question, which is, can someone who is working be able to join the boot camp?
All right, cool. For someone
So
who is
okay, yeah.
working, definitely. Definitely. We have, so this is a really funny stat, right? From our previous boot camp, we had 50% of the guys were matriculants and who were looking to a career in tech. 50% of the people were actually working in jobs, right? So for that reason, we had to make our times flexible. We used to have live classes in the morning at 9 o'clock, and then we used to have live classes again at 6 o'clock during the night time for the guys who are working. And then again, we had to make availability for our tutors during the morning and in the night time as well, because the people who come back from work and then they study at night and need access to tutors, so we always have tutor support at that time as well. So yeah, if you're working, yes, you can join the bootcamp. Or if you miss a live class, it's recorded. You can catch up, and there's also pre-recorded supplementary material given to you in the platform. So if you're working, that will not be a problem at all.
Sweet. Just trying to see the any other question over here. Is
Okay.
the is the certificate recognized in South Africa? That's a
Do
good
you want
one.
to take that?
Asif, you want to take? Yeah, sure.
Uh,
So
okay.
yes, the certificate is recognized in South Africa because we are MICT CETA accredited. So you will be earning NQF level 5 credits for participating in this course. But it's up to you whether you actually want to go ahead and take the NQF exam with us, right? But yes, to answer your question, it is recognized in South Africa. Asif, would you like to add anything to that?
Yeah, I just want to add something here, right? You know what's funny is that in this industry, even we hire developers, but we never ask them for
Yeah.
certification. We never ask them, do you have a bachelor's degree? And a lot of recruiters do that. And the reason for that is because having a bachelor's degree does not mean you can build a product. Okay. Yes, if you want to become a computer scientist, then you need a degree. Obviously, to do a master's and do your PhD. But if you're becoming a software developer, basically somebody who wants to build products for companies, you just have to show that you can build a product and you have to pass the interview. Because we have hired quite a few guys who do not have degrees, and even the people that we have placed from our previous programs do not have degrees, and just all they do is our program, and they get in. So don't worry about uh, certification. Worry more about the experience and what you can build, right? Because that's what will give you that confidence to crack the interview, not your degree.
Yeah, sweet. Like, the next question is, are you able to find all 50 of them employment?
Yeah. So to answer this question, it depends on how well you do, right? The companies are there waiting for you. The problem is that if you get like if you don't do well in the course, it's very difficult for you to place you in a company and to motivate why the company must take you, right? So if you are going to, let's say, get do well, and you show that you can build products and you're able to like complete the course with flying colors, getting a job is not a problem. That's something we can definitely guarantee.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's something that very early on will try to groom you so that you're very much ready for the job. So we'll straight up start like flagging you, and we'll try to, like, make you aware that, hey, like, you need to like fix this so that you become job ready. You know, this is a nice thing that Asif has put up. Not a question, but so far I love the self-paced program. Thank you, Manare. We really appreciate that. Um, yeah, I think the next question here is, in terms of job, I know the website says something about a first job interview. How does it work if we fail the interview, as it is difficult to land the job, as I've heard, at least especially remote jobs? Cool. So I can take this one. Yeah. So basically, it really depends on, like Asif has mentioned, he kind of touched on this already, right? It depends on how we prepare you for the interview, right? Um, the thing is, like, when you're going through the job application process, you will be applying to lots of places, right? And you will face rejection. That's the reality of it, right? But very early on in the program, will you become tough enough, and you will get the confidence to actually land the interview. Like, we've seen people do it, right? So, yes, I'm not going to say it's easy, right? But we try our best to simplify that experience for you, so that once you reach that the end of the program, you stand a very high chance of getting a job. So the next question is, will there be? Oh, sorry, what's this? So, what are the salary expectations from intern to mid or higher? That's a great question. Asif, do you want to take this one?
Yeah. All right. Cool. So, from what I know, the interns that we have placed, they earn 4,000 rand a month initially, and once they get taken in full time, they become full time employees. They earn 10,000 rands for the first few months, which then goes up to 20,000 rands by the end of the year. So, obviously, you need to understand that you're not somebody who went to a university. So the way South African makes hires is a bit different than the US and Europe. So they will start you off with a really low salary, but by the end of the year you will be earning really well. So don't stress about what you're going to earn, right? Stress about just making your skills really good, that by the end of the year you reach that goal of earning really good. By the end of the year you will have 1 year of experience, right? And the moment you have 1 year of experience, that's it. You have put your foot in the market, you can literally find another job that will pay you double. So that's how the market works in the software industry.
I think I just want to add on over here and just talk about Jonas's story, right? Jonas was a developer who started with a very small salary. I don't even remember the starting salary. I think we're talking like 4K as well, 4K, 7K or something like that. And today he's working at Yo-Yo, and I think it's been a while since we've spoken to him. Last time we spoke to him, he was earning 80 grand a month, and he was contributing to some really big projects. The U-Count reward system for Standard Bank is something that he was working on. So it is very much possible to like to get there, right? But you need to just follow the trajectory that we've laid out for you. So I know it's already half past. I just want to like touch on something special for everyone who has attended this session right now. Because you have attended this session, we're going to waive the 150 rand application fee, right? So if you go through the application process, it costs 150 rand to do the admission fee, and only after that will you actually be able to proceed on to the next stage, right? But since you've attended this live session today and you're here with us and you're listening to us, we're going to waive that fee for you. So Asif is going to share. I think that link is already up here on the chat.
Yeah.
So you will be able to apply, and I think this is only valid for 24 hours. It's not. So please make sure that you start your application. And in the application you'll be able to see what financing option you want to go for, if you want to go for financing or if you want to go for full upfront or installments. All right. So yeah, that's pretty much it with regards to this webinar, and the goal that we had to kind of outline everything. I feel like if you guys have any questions, if you want to understand things more better, feel free to book a consultation on our website, where you'll be able to connect with a consultant, and the consultant will guide you on any particular questions that you might have. Another recommendation is please join the Discord community. Please ask questions over there. We have a live and kicking community there, and you'll be able to get your answers also on the community. All right. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We've come to the end of this session. Um, when will we have another live chat? I feel like that is something that we I think we'll look at what the surveys say and what the responses say, and accordingly we could schedule another one. um, I think there's one more closing remark over here. Just wanted to say thank you for giving me an opportunity to work for the company. It was great working with you guys in Velo. Working for the company opened doors for me. Okay, it's not really relevant to the program, but you're welcome. All right. Okay, cheers guys, thank you.
All right. Cheers. Thanks, guys.